Hey, long time no talk. I have a graphic novel review, and I feel like I've reviewed this because I've had it forever, but maybe not. I guess not. Um, Batman: The Dark Knight Returns. I got this a few Christmases ago. Um, some people call it the undisputed classic. Some people call it, you know, just a really great Batman story. And whenever people think of great Batman stories, this is up there. It kind of redefined Batman, brought him back to his roots, stuff like that. But I've had it for a while, and I've read it before, but I just reread it recently, and so I'm going to review it. But, yeah, so I'm just going to get into it. This was written by Frank Miller. I don't really need to tell the basics of it because it's very, very classic. It's about Batman, after coming out of retirement and coming back and being Batman again because the Gotham is very much corrupt again. First off, I'd like to say I really like the art. The art is really good. I really like how they drew Batman in this. He's older and he's just bigger. He just looks like, he looks like a football player in this, and I really like that. But just some of the imagery and stuff is just great in this. And the story's great. I really, really like the story with one exception. As you may know, Superman is my favorite superhero. And I hate to really, just talk about Superman all the time when I do my reviews because not everybody likes Superman. Quite a lot of people don't like Superman. And I've done that in videos before, talked about, why and why they shouldn't, why they should like Superman. But, he's in this. And in this, he is basically the government tool. This is the first time this has been shown. It's been kind of reused with Superman becoming part of the government. But, I don't hate how they made Superman in this. I feel like Frank Miller doesn't like Superman. I really don't. And I think it's just because he relates to Batman more like a lot of people do. But I just think he doesn't understand Superman. But in this, I really like the fact, it's an Elseworlds type story. But I do like, Superman in this, how he is, kind of being, because they have good reason for him being, a government tool is, he's trying to help the world still, and he feels the only way he can do that is still side with the government because, they're the ones that, run everything and just stuff like that. He's just trying to do what's best. But I really, in a way, I kind of like the incorporation with Batman and Superman having a rivalry. This is like the first time that's actually shown. Before this, Batman and Superman were just buddies along with the other superheroes. This actually, they shouldn't like each other. They both have different different goals and different morals. Superman doesn't always agree with what Batman does. Batman doesn't always agree with what Superman does. But I feel like it slightly went a little too far, to where they absolutely hate each other. And I see in the story it works because that's what they've been driven to the point where they absolutely hate each other. And it still shows, that Superman does care for Bruce. In other parts of this, you'll see that. And he has no choice, really, which he kind of does, because, he doesn't have to be with the government. And that's what Batman's telling him. But, as a Superman fan, I'm just a little biased, and you don't have to agree with me at all. But, I do think Frank Miller doesn't like Superman just because he doesn't. He hasn't really, everything he's done that's incorporated Superman has been kind of negative against Superman. But, if that's how he feels, that's how he feels. But, yeah, so I'm kind of, at like a negative, positive pros and cons type thing with that. There are a lot of pros when it comes to this with Superman in this, but then there are a lot of cons that come with, Batman, and with the same thing. But enough with that, because that's really not the bulk of it. I love the story. Otherwise, I absolutely love the story. With Batman, coming back out of retirement and stuff like that. That's all really great. It's very dark. And it's just there's not really much I can say about it, just because it's a classic. You really just kind of got to read it. But this, I think the story, I like the story about 95%. The 5%, of course, is what I was just talking about. But I feel like I'm kind of rambling. Yeah, but it's good. It's not my favorite Batman story, and I don't think it should be. I think it could be people's favorite Batman story, but I don't think it should be the best Batman story ever, because it should be up there, definitely, of course, up there. Like I think it's got good recognition. It should have good recognition, but there are other Batman stories out there that are just as good, and I don't. When it comes to me in this book, it's not my favorite Batman story, of course, but it's up there, with Batman. I'll always have it, when I think of graphic novels of Batman, or whatever, I think of that in there. But as a new reader of comic books that wants to get into Batman, I highly, highly, highly don't suggest this until you have read quite a bit of Batman, because it's not as fun to read. You got to really enjoy Batman and get to know who Batman is first. And then 2, it's just, it's kind of like the end, so it's not how you should start, really. But yeah, there's really not much more I can say about this. If anybody watches this and wants to give their opinions on it, go ahead. I might actually post one more review up tonight. But yeah, that's about it.